are needed out of 4 balls. Joginder Sharma is bowling from India and Misbah is batting from Pakistan. Misbah is a very good batsman, whereas Joginder is just an average bowler at best. Joginder bowls and Misbah hits for a 6. Up and above goes the ball and down to the hands of Srishant. Yes, we won the T20 World Cup that year, and after that there was a very funny joke that was spreading among the Malayalis, especially the youth. Never underestimate a Malayali. If life ever started on Mars, he would be the first one to start a tea stall there. A very good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Good evening. I've met a lot of Malayalis. Some of them who are very serious but are the intense readers, whereas the others who are so creative that their dancing, acting, singing, it never seems to end. To most, what comes to mind is the curly haired, coconut oil eating, lungi clad, highly educated Marxist who loves his fish as much as he loves his alcohol. However, like everything else in nature, the percept of Malayali has changed over the decades. I asked some of my non-Malayali friends what are the words that they thought they could relate to the word Malayali. Some of my interesting findings were nature, education, water, and of course, owner. There is one particular characteristic in a Malayali which has evolved, and that is the ability to make others laugh. Humor comes naturally for a Malayali. And continuing in this humorous sense, I decided to see what are the stereotypes of Malayalis that I could come up with. A Malayali man at home is like the lion of the jungle. He roars incessantly and sometimes pointlessly, whereas the woman of the house does all the household work. He struts proudly and is proud of his thick moustache. Whereas the wife, she is like the lioness at home. She is very protective of her young ones, but secretly hopes how much dowry she'll get once her son settles in the Gulf. There are 2 kinds of Malayalis at work. One who's silent because he's conscious about the English he speaks, whereas the other will partake in all discussions, completely oblivious about his peculiar accent. But both of them have one thing in common. They form a part of the same group that seems to mysteriously form in any company that employs more than 3 Malayalis. A Malayali that goes to college knows not what the meaning of extremes, and I shall not elaborate further. Slick hair combed back like a Roman helmet, the coolest gadgets and bikes are all a part of his arsenal. However, he gets a little wobbly and tongue-tied when he comes in front of a beautiful classmate. The Gulf Malayali has evolved through time. The lady will wear as much jewelry as the emigration will allow, whereas a gentleman will bring down chocolates, scotch, whiskey, the standard coming home gifts. And he will long to come to his hometown so that he can trade his pants for a lungi or a kaini. The foreign Malayali would love to flaunt his over-enunciated English at every given opportunity. He also will, however, trade his pants for a lungi as soon as he reads God's own country. His gifts are generally Nike t-shirts, Reebok shoes, etc. The next kind of Malayali is the kids of these foreign Malayalis. They will have flawless English. However, their Malayalam will always have the English accent, and therefore they have the name called Mallus. They don't know for life why they have to remember the names of their appachans and amamas and kochamas and kochachans, which mean aunties and uncles and grandmothers and grandfathers, whenever they reach their ancestral home. The ammachi or the grandmother is a portrait of innocence in the world of English. She is universally loved and will always ask you whether you remember her. Another very interesting thing about her is that she will not get a head or tail about the most basic technological marvels, and she's completely against junk food. She will hug you when you go to her, when you meet her, however she'll sniff in your ear when you have to go. And finally, last but not the least, the drunk Malayali. He is facing extinction in his own state, but till then let us still cast him in the speech. He will tie and untie his lungi every time a notch higher, which will tell you how many pegs he's down. And finally, with the last peg, we will come to know his lungi will just be one arm's width between his armpit. It will almost look like a girl that is going to the river for a bath. On the other hand, he will sing and sing and sing for the amount of coaxing he would otherwise require to go up on stage. A drunk Malayali will even put Shakira to shame. Despite the funny quirks in the genus Malayali, there are certain traits that set him aside from all the other Indians. He has an overdeveloped sense of cleanliness, and when he's not hardly working, he's very hard working. And he's a trustworthy friend and a go-to person when the banana chips are down. I am a Malayali.